when the parent is telling the child not to approach some prohibited object. And then there's, perhaps more importantly, from this point of view, there's the idea that some parenting behaviors are more likely to elicit compliance than others. One notion that's been stressed a lot is this idea of mutually responsive orientation, and a mom that's responsive to the child. There's a lot of positive emotion and interactions. Those kinds of diets where the mom and the child has this mutually responsive orientation are also the diets where the child tends to be more compliant with the mom's requests. Also, power assertion is like a classic thing that's been associated with low compliance. Moms who use more power assertion have kids who comply less, especially when the mom isn't present. And there are a couple of key notions here that I just want to briefly mention. One is this idea of internalization, which generally refers to when the child complies without supervision. That's ultimately the goal, right? When you're trying to teach someone something, you want them to be able to do it without you always being there to supervise them. And that's the idea behind internalization. And then the concept or the mechanism that's supposed to be responsible for ensuring internalization or maintaining internalization is what's called conscience. So these concepts are not fully explained in neither empirically nor theoretically, but this is the idea that kids in the second year, they start complying more and more with the mom's commands, and then gradually they come to internalize those commands, so they start complying even when the mom isn't there, and in doing so, they develop what's referred to as conscience. That's the socialization view. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about one constructivist view. Constructivism can be used in a lot of different senses in developmental psychology, and the social domain theory is just one of them. But the social domain theory is one that's been quite dominant or quite prevalent in the field of moral development. So here the idea is, in contrast to the socialization view, the emphasis is on atypical changes, right? You see the difference in emphasis. And the core idea that came out of the social domain theory is this idea that different types of transgressions are associated with different social experiences. So specifically for moral transgressions, that's what we're talking about here, moral transgressions, if you think about it, typically have a victim, right? And that's part of the experience. And part of what happens when you hit someone, for example, is that somebody starts crying. If you wear a bathing suit to school, somebody starts laughing. That's a little different, right? Moral transgressions typically have a victim, and with that comes a particular experience. And social domain theory is arguing that because of these moral specific experiences, kids come to construct this understanding of moral values and norms that is different from their understanding of conventions. There's also a good deal of evidence that moral transgressions elicit different types of verbal reactions. So when the child hits someone else, moms tend to respond by saying, "Oh, that hurt your brother," or "That's not very nice." Whereas if they, for example, was wearing a bathing suit to school, teachers will say, "Oh, we don't wear bathing suits in the school," or "We have a rule that you all have to wear in pants or whatever." Right? So there's more of a reference to rules, to listen to the teachers, to authority. Whereas for the moral transgressions, there's a great tendency to refer to the intrinsic consequences of the transgression itself. We've also been doing some work lately on the kinds of emotional, nonverbal responses that moral transgressions elicit. And there's some increasing evidence now that moral transgressions, compared to transgressions that involve spilling and creating disorder and things like that, are more likely to elicit anger. The moms are less likely to negotiate in the context of moral transgressions. They're less likely to say, "All right, fine, you can hit your brother." Whereas if the kid is playing with the shoes and pulling all the shoes out of the shoe rack, the mom is more likely to say, "Fine, pull the shoes out. It's all right." Right? That kind of negotiation or relenting on the part of the mother is much more common in the case of disorder and mess than in the case of moral transgressions. And then we also see some evidence that moms are more likely to use physical intervention in the response to moral transgression. So again, the idea here is that moral transgressions are associated with specific experiences that help kids understand that there's something special about moral transgressions and something special about moral norms that makes them different from social conventions or things that pertain to safety. Right? So that's the idea. And when you start asking older kids, like preschool age kids, they will give different justifications for moral transgressions, for moral rules, than for conventional rules. So with age, so say third, fourth year, kids have a pretty distinct understanding, or clear understanding of how moral norms differ from conventions. Okay? A couple of other, I'm going to mention a few other theories that don't fall clearly into this constructivist versus socialization view, but that lean more on the constructivist side. One theory that's got a lot of attention, that's more emotion-based than the social domain theory has been, is the empathy-based theory proposed by Martin Hoffman. So Hoffman was actually one of the people who did that initial work with the neonates, showing that they cry more in response to another infant's crying than in response to their own cry. And he's developed this theory over the years into a full-blown theory of moral development. And his idea is that empathy is really the driving force in moral development from early on. Kids come to care about moral values when they respond empathically to the distress and suffering of another person. And the role of parents in Hoffman's theory is really to draw the child's attention to the victim's suffering. So parents matter. I mean, obviously everybody agrees that parents matter. But Hoffman specifically arguing that the parents' role in particular is to draw the child's attention and show, like, look what you did to your brother. Look how your brother is crying. And then the idea is that will in turn elicit an empathic response from the child, which will motivate being nice to other kids in the future. Right? And I'm just going to include a little anecdote here from an interview study that we did that sort of illustrates what Hoffman was talking about. And this arises in a situation where a little girl had kicked her mother. She said, she was very upset, very unhappy. She kicked me, and her shoe hit my head. She hit me. I showed Alice that I was very upset, and I said, "You hit mommy's head," and started to tear up. I don't know how you would describe the look on her face, because she was upset, she was crying, she was kicking, and then all of a sudden she hits me, and I look like I'm going to cry, and I'm telling her that she did something to me, that I was very upset, and then she stopped. Her eyes were searching my face, so I reached the conclusion that her eyes were kind of looking at me, and they were watery, and they were looking up at me, and she was trying to figure out what was going on, and I thought I saw their remorse. Right? So this is a phone interview, so obviously mom wasn't like, if she had written this, she would probably have been a little bit more concise. But you see how her description nicely illustrates this transition from the child being upset and clearly just like hitting and kicking whatever she sees, and then in response to the mom's distress, she seems to pick up at least something of what's going on in the mom and respond with some rudimentary form of remorse. So I think Hoffman would be very glad to see this anecdote. And there's some evidence that kids, especially towards the end of the second year, become increasingly sensitive to other people's distress when they have harmed them. So when the child has harmed the other person. Okay. Here's another theory. This is a theory proposed by Judy Dunn. Judy Dunn is not as much of a theoretician as Martin Hoffman is. That means her theory is less developed, but her strength is a whole host of naturalistic observations that give her a lot of good insight into what's going on in the families in the second year that can contribute to the child's increasing moral sense and moral understanding. So one of the main things that Judy Dunn was stressing is that young kids already in the second year, they do things that they know are wrong. Not just things that are morally wrong, but also things that are morally wrong. For example, they tease siblings. If they know that something is going to upset the sibling, for example, there's an anecdote in Judy Dunn's work about the sibling disliking spiders, and then when the child hears that, the 21-month-old, I think, runs over and gets the spider and shoves it in the sibling's face. Right? Now that's not very empathic. But Judy Dunn's point was that in doing so, in exploring the consequences of their own actions, kids are actually experimenting and figuring out how is what I'm doing affecting other people. She also found that kids, and this perhaps not so surprisingly, kids were much more likely to elicit help from the mom when the sibling has, for example, stolen something from them than when they have stolen something from the sibling, right? Showing some awareness that the fact that I'm upset doesn't mean that I'm guaranteed to get help, but only when somebody has done something wrong to me can I get help. If I've done something wrong to someone else, I can't get help, right? So again, showing an awareness of the moral norms, moral rules that are governing these interactions between the family members, but not necessarily wanting to comply with them for the sake of being moral, right? They sort of use them for their own purposes. So that just, I feel like Judy Dunn's work, for even though it's very anecdote-based, actually illustrates a lot of important points about what's going on in the family, what are the kids doing in these interactions that are helping them figuring out what they should and shouldn't be doing. And we're just going to, another anecdote, I really like these anecdotes, from Judy Dunn. So here's a child, 18-month-old, who says, she's pulling the mom's hair, and the mom says, don't pull my hair, madam, don't pull hair. No, it's not nice to pull hair, is it? The child says, hair, yes, but you mustn't pull it, must you? Yes, no, it's not time to pull hair, is it? Nice, no, it isn't, nice, right? So the kid, again, clearly understands that there's something they're doing that's unwanted, but yet they continue doing it as an exploratory behavior. So, so that shows, so this kind of anecdote, and the quantitative evidence that goes with it, shows you that the existence of an innate morality has to be understood in the context of these complexities, of the context of this evidence that kids often, later in the second year, do things towards each other that they know is wrong, know is harmful, but continue to do it. So, to sum up, in the first year, we've seen some evidence of empathic distress, so responding to a cry of another baby. We saw some evidence of rudimentary social evaluations, how kids prefer pro-social to antisocial puppets. Right? In the second year, I talked a little bit about there's increasing tendency to help others. The empathic behavior becomes increasingly adaptive, you can say, that is, increasingly oriented towards relieving the suffering of another person. Then, when we get into the third and the fourth year, that's when we start seeing evidence for guilt, or showing preferential helping in the context of an actual social interaction. We see how kids can actually intervene on moral transgressions by other people, and we see that kids in the third and increasingly in the fourth year can actually articulate distinctions between moral norms and other norms. Meaning they can say, oh, it's wrong to hit others because it hurts them, and it's wrong to wear a bathing suit to school because that's not what we wear in school. Okay. So my point, or my goal here today was to try to tell you a little bit about the empirical findings that have emerged over the past 30 years in the research on early moral development, to highlight some of the theoretical tensions that still exist. Do not believe that the nativism and empiricism debate is dead. It is not. Certainly not in the field of moral development. Try to illustrate a little bit of how that exists and how there's this third position, the more constructivist position, which sort of locates itself between the more extreme nativism and empiricist views. And then I'll try to highlight some points or some questions that still remain to be answered. And then have some time for questions. Yep. So if you just look at maternal report, there's evidence of increasing remorse-like responses or guilt-like responses in the second year, half of the second year, and then into the third year. The problem with these kinds of descriptions, of course, is that part of it you're relying on the mom's attribution. So the experimental evidence for guilt and remorse is very scarce in the late second year. That's not to say it doesn't exist at all, but it's not robust in any way. Yep.
Have you found any interesting links between the different attachment styles and how those are punishment affecting one and how they are?
There is some work on how security attachment is associated with greater compliance to maternal commands. Not too familiar with that literature, but there seems to be some connections about I can't specify exactly what all the evidence is, but something in that direction of security attachment being related to greater compliance. Yep. Oh, is that took them longer? Oh, so by longer I meant developmentally, it's more difficult, so they have to get older before they can actually act on their social evaluations. But I think cosmotorically it's a little bit more difficult to act towards a person as opposed to just choosing a puppet. Yeah, so I don't think that's very well explained. I think the most general way to put it is, people are more complex than puppets, and people are what we're ultimately interacting with. So exactly what kinds of feelings that kids attribute to puppets, it's a little bit hard to know. I know in general people have tended to use puppets because they find that kids are a little bit more inhibited with people, especially unfamiliar people, than they are with puppets. So for example, in the study I mentioned where kids were intervening on a puppet destroying another person's property, I don't think they would have been able to do that if it was an adult destroying another adult's property, because the kids wouldn't have intervened on an adult doing something. So yeah, but I don't think the issue of the difference between findings with puppets and humans are entirely well understood yet. Was there a hand here? No? No further questions? All right. Well, thank you very much for your attention.